As mentioned, my name is John Watson. I'm a librarian over at the Kimball Library. I'm the reference and outreach librarian. I work a lot with all the different librarians. We do a lot of teaching. This is actually my first time with graduate students, so that's exciting. I've only been here at Coastal for a month, so everything's pretty new. But I came from Indiana University, where I just got my master's in library and information science. So I'm here today to talk to you guys a little bit about what it means to write a literature review. Did you guys read the chapter in the book? Mm-hmm. So did I. Hilarious. There were some great things in there. Did you see the part about Google? And they were like, oh, Google's really catching on. This might become popular soon. Like, yes, or take over the world. So it was, I thought that it was really, really informative, though. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to show you guys, I have a little presentation here to just give like a brief overview about what I feel a literature review does, what its purpose is. I have a few slides here. But first of all, I handed out some cards, and I was wondering if you guys wanted to just, if I could just get somebody who has a blue card. If you want to read your question, each of these cards have questions on them, and whoever has a blue card, just shout it out, nice and loud so the camera can hear you.
What is the purpose of the literature review?
Oh, perfect timing. Yes. Well, I think the purpose of the literature review, really, in the scholarly community, when you're a part of the academy, it's really all about communication. And as a librarian, we talk a lot about, and we feel a lot of things about scholarly communication. It's very important to the field, and to the furthering of that field and the knowledge therein. So the purpose of the literature review is to take everyone's idea that revolves around what your purpose is with this research project. Some of the people who have maybe dabbled in an area of that, or somebody who has done maybe the exact same research project, and all of the major hitters in that field, to take their information and and then the great thing about the lit review is that from there it supports your idea and your theory. It makes yours all the stronger. Okay, so that's mainly the purpose of it. We always talk about it in terms of standing on the shoulders of giants. We're allowing the scholars before us to make our work just that much stronger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, can I have another blue card?
What is the difference between a lit review and an annotated bibliography?
What is the difference between a lit review and an annotated bibliography? Well, there's a lot, actually. Is anybody familiar with annotated bibliographies? Yeah, we'll go down that road, too, because it's a complicated one. Annotated bibliography is I have my source, the source that I read, and then I provide an abstract, so a basic overview of what that book is about. And then that's pretty much where that road ends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whereas with the literature review, there is some purpose. Annotated bibliographies are like right here for librarians. We love them because we love to give them to people and tell you what this book is all about. You go read it and you do your thing. But for a lit review, I'm using that to sort of say, okay, so here's what is going on in the field regarding this topic, and here is how it supports, and here is why this research that I'm doing is necessary. Here's where I fill in the holes. Okay? So that's where, and also just the formatting in itself is different. With an annotated bibliography, you're not using paragraph form, and instead you're using blocks. That is necessary for APA, as well as other formatting. Yeah. So that's great. Can I grab another blue?
Do I need to have a lot of sources to write a strong literature review?
Do you need to have a lot of sources to have a strong literature review? That's an excellent question. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I think the more succinct you are with the materials that you have for your literature review, the better off you're going to be. An annotated bibliography can go on and on and on and on, and believe me, it does when you're in library school. Yeah, they love to do those for assignments. But for this, you really want to find the people, the scholars that communicate, the really heavy hitters in that field, and those who have been cited highly, those who are the most relevant to your topic, and you really want to think about the big picture. You want to think about what types of materials you're using. So, and what type of literature that is. Is it a secondary, a little textbook there, yeah, secondary source, right? Talking about other people's research. Are they primary sources? So is it original research that's done, which is what you guys are doing, which is so cool. Is it that original research using those stats, things like that? So you want to think about the type of it, of the materials you're using, as well as maybe what format it comes in, by what means. Is it electronic? Are you using enough books? Are you using journals? Are you using websites? And are those websites credible? And I brought some information today to talk to you a little bit about how to evaluate websites if you are using that for your literature review, or just for your own personal knowledge. And of course, you always want to keep in mind the scope. Am I too narrow? Sometimes that will affect your searching. Am I too narrow in my scope? Am I wide enough, or am I too wide? Is the topic too broad? And who better to help you answer that question but your friendly librarian, right? Yeah, that's what we do. So we always recommend having research consultations for that. Yeah, if you're hitting the wall, then that's really what we're here for. Yeah. Do I have any more blue cards? No? Okay, great, wonderful. So just a few more things. Always keeping in mind with your literature review, you want to think, what is the specific thesis, problem, or research question that my literature review is helping me define? So, and from that, you thinking about your thesis, do I have anyone here that has a specific thesis in mind, or problem, or research issue?
Can I do one?
Yeah, go ahead and shout it out.
Fluency.
Fluency?
I'm gonna try to see if practicing with a partner increases their achievement greater than alone.
Okay, so collaboration with peers and fluency and okay, so that's that's your question. All right, great. And so then what you'll do then is find your search terms, your search strategies to find the relevant literature in that. That's great. Yeah. I think that's a really interesting topic too. Yeah, so here we come to the seeking, right, guys? Oh, and I have a fun picture for this. Love that one. But so that brings us to the part also where we come in and help you guys find this information, right? Because that's kind of one of the hardest parts. I mean, maybe the hardest part might be writing it, right? And formatting it correctly to fit the APA. But what we did here, I'm just going to minimize this for a minute, is I put together a research guide for you.